Hello and welcome to this exclusive Gulf News webinar, Why St Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Continues to Attract Investors. The St Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment program has entered a new era with a bold strategy that benefits both investors and citizens who want to see the nation flourish. Today, our high-level panel will discuss the recent innovative changes to the program, the revised investment options available to applicants, how these investments benefit the nation, and why it remains an attractive option for discerning investors. My name is Sally Musa, and as your host today, it gives me great pleasure to welcome the newly appointed Michael Martin, Head of St Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Unit, and Mika Rose Emmett, CEO of CS Global Partners, to this webinar. St Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment program is the oldest and one of the most trusted programs of its kind. Since 1984, it has allowed investors and their families to legally obtain citizenship of one of the Caribbean's most idyllic destinations. Featuring a fast track to citizenship without any residency requirements, global travel to over 160 countries, as well as business advantages, the updated St Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment program builds on nearly 4 decades of experience and sets a bold new tone for the industry. Based on a sustainable model filled with integrity, transparency, and accountability, St Kitts and Nevis is once again leading the way for the investment migration industry. This is your chance to discover why intelligent investors are choosing a second citizenship in St Kitts and Nevis as part of their globalized portfolio diversification strategy, while securing a second home for their families in a safe and stable nation. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Michael Martin, Head of the St Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Unit, and Mika Emmett, CEO of CS Global Partners. Welcome to you both.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
It's wonderful to have you. Now, before we begin, we have a special welcome message from the Honourable Dr. Terence Drew, Prime Minister of St Kitts and Nevis.
Greetings. It is with immense pleasure that I welcome you to our beautiful country of St Kitts and Nevis. For nearly 40 years, St Kitts and Nevis has been the pioneer of the global investor immigration industry. Our Citizenship by Investment program remains the favorite and trusted option for international investors. We have made the bold and innovative decisions needed to strengthen the legislative and administrative structure of the program. The new phase of our citizenship program will be a sustainable model filled with integrity, transparency, and accountability, and our investment options will align strategically with the market realities while preserving the platinum brand associated with the oldest citizenship by investment program in the world. I am pleased to hand over the conversation to Mr. Michael Martin, the newly appointed head of the St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Unit, who will discuss these changes in depth. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, the Honourable Dr. Terence Drew, for that warm welcome and introduction to St Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment program. Now, Michael, if I can start with you, the newly elected government of St Kitts and Nevis undertook an evaluation of the Citizenship by Investment program and subsequently introduced various changes to it at the end of December 2022. What were the government's findings and what was the motivation to introduce these changes?
Thank you, Sally. Last year, the new government reviewed our Citizenship by Investment program and took concrete steps to update and enhance certain aspects of it to ensure that it continues to meet the needs of a discerning investment-minded person looking for an enriching base for their families and businesses. During the exploratory phase, stakeholders and partners were consulted and we will continue to engage local and international stakeholders on an ongoing basis to ensure that we are abreast of their salient needs. We have made the bold and innovative decision needed to strengthen the legislative and administrative structures of the program and to ensure that real estate projects funded by the program are completed. Our goal is to ensure that our treasured citizenship by investment program is mutually beneficial for all stakeholders, from the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, the investors themselves, the developers, to the local service providers and international marketing agents. We are motivated to bring clarity to our people and international investors through constant transparency and integrity. Through well devised synergies and enforcement of our laws, this program will be of mutual benefit for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis and those who see the potential of this nation.
Thank you so much. And now, of course, you have just been newly appointed to the position of head of the St Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Unit. Talk to us about the vision for the St Kitts CBI program now, your goals, and how you plan to implement the changes.
My mandate, issued by the Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, is to help our nation realize its goal of providing a program that will uplift the Kittitian and Nevisian society through beneficial investment options that bring tangible value while also offering an enriching base to international investors. My experience as a service provider in the investment migration industry and my local roots make me the right candidate to understand what our external stakeholders require from us, as well as knowing how we can use this program to uplift our people. I will be leading a team of efficient and focused experts who will ensure that the program increases processing efficiency and accuracy while also maintaining strong due diligence processes so that only investors of the highest caliber are accepted. We will be conducting a situational analysis to assess the status of the unit and will determine the best way forward to maximize efficiency and effectiveness. This is an operation that is very important to the development of our country and to the people of our federation. We will rebrand and refocus the program, define our strategic goals, and create some new investment options that will be aligned to these strategic goals.
Wonderful to see. Now, talk to us more about the innovative updates that have just been introduced. Why these changes and why now?
The Sustainable Growth Fund, first introduced in 2018, remains the quickest and easiest route to second citizenship in St. Kitts and Nevis. And from January 1st to June 30th, 2023, for a limited time offer, a main applicant, following stringent background checks, can make a minimum investment of $125,000 for a single applicant or $170,000 for a main applicant, spouse, and two dependents. So they can make that donation, that investment to the fund, and receive approval in principle within 60 days of submission of the application. We recognize that the value of real estate development must benefit all stakeholders. So we have considered with care the following changes that will be implemented under the real estate option. The minimum investment for the real estate option remains at US $200,000, excluding government, due diligence, and processing fees. Investors can also apply for citizenship through the purchase of a qualified private home for a minimum investment of $400,000 for each main applicant. Unlike the pre-approved real estate option, investing through a private home means a single-family home is sold as one unit and cannot be converted into apartments, condominiums, or divided otherwise. There's also a new public good investment option, which will replace the alternative investment option, and that will focus on effecting real transformation of the country by investing into areas that will benefit the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. These projects must maximize local employment, transfer technological skills, and increase capacity building. Investors looking to contribute to the PGIO will be required to apply to the Board of Governors to be designated as a public good investor. To qualify under the PGIO, an applicant must contribute a minimum of $175,000, excluding relevant due diligence, processing, and government fees. It is important to note that these additional layers are not meant to hinder applications, but rather to ensure multiple aspects, including keeping processing to agreed timelines. All approved applicants have the highest repute, and most importantly, that projects meet the requirements of benefiting the local economy.
It's absolutely important that, of course, St Kitts and Nevis is benefiting from all of this as well, just as investors are benefiting too. Maker, if I can come to you now, is alternative citizenship still relevant to people today? And why should people still invest in an alternative nationality?
Thank you for the question. I think more than ever, it's critical that individuals look at taking an alternative citizenship. I think the past few years of what's happened in the world has really highlighted to individuals and their families who've worked hard that it's important to be able to hedge your risks. And ultimately, that's what an alternative citizenship provides, is just giving you that opportunity to have more of a global footprint across the world in order to do business, to have medical attention, for education, and it really gives an extra level of context to the individuals who do take alternative citizenship. So, the intelligent investors have been looking at St. Kitts and investing in St. Kitts for so many years because it's such a stable program. And they know that becoming a citizen of a country like St. Kitts and Nevis gives them that sense of stability and security that is also very much an important element of being, of obtaining an alternative citizenship.
And you've definitely, touched on it there, but there are so many reasons, right? Why St. Kitts and Nevis alternative citizenship program has remained such a popular option among investors. What are the other reasons that you think that is?
Well, in particular, St. Kitts and Nevis is the longest running citizenship by investment program in the world. It really is the pioneer of the investor immigration and citizenship by investment industry. And therefore, people relate well to this program that's been there for a long time. If you're going to invest into something, you want to know that your investment is tried and tested, and certainly with St. Kitts and Nevis, that is the case. St. Kitts and Nevis also, becoming a citizen of the country, you are welcomed into a country with a stable government, a currency that is stable. The Eastern Caribbean dollar is connected to the US dollar since 1977. So there's sort of financial stability. St. Kitts and Nevis is located, obviously, very close to the US, so it's very efficient for doing business. for the purposes of today's call and the issues with internet connection, St Kitts and Nevis has very strong internet connection. Its ease of business is well recognized. And then, of course, the global mobility, because as a Kittitian or Navision, you are welcome to over 160 countries around the world. So people welcome you with open arms.
And so, Michael, I would love to ask you now as well, St Kitts and Nevis, as Micah did say there, the CBI program has enjoyed long-standing success for almost 4 decades now. So do talk to us about the many benefits of the program that attract investors from all over the world to your stunning Caribbean nation.
As Michael said, we have been the pioneers of the global investor migration industry. We started in 1984, almost 40 years ago, and international investors understand that this program is beneficial to them in many ways. The benefits to the international investor include enhanced global mobility and the opportunity to do business no matter where they are in the world. It also includes the opportunity to enjoy our nation's stability and a safe lifestyle. So with the investment options, investors have the opportunity to grow their wealth through economic opportunities. However, funds raised from the Sustainable Growth Fund are not just designed to benefit international investors. It also boosts local industries due to hard capital inflows and has enabled our citizens to thrive amid the global uncertainty.
And it's so important right now, as you do say. The Sustainable Growth Fund is a particularly attractive option at the moment with a substantial discount. So tell us more about this option and the investment required to apply.
Under the limited time offer, a main applicant, following stringent background checks, can make a minimum investment of $125,000 for a single applicant, or $170,000 for a main applicant, a spouse, and 2 dependents. Now, the Sustainable Growth Fund was established with a view to facilitating the economic development and social upliftment in St. Kitts and Nevis. The fund continues to be an important path to raising foreign direct investment. The fund will be used for school construction and education-related activities to mitigate the effects of climate change, support economic growth of the nation, including improving our competitiveness, support various industries along with small and medium-sized businesses, build infrastructure, and repay loans for ports of entry to enhance the port facilities of the airports and the seaports, and also to develop and enhance our medical facilities. We also want to use the fund to support tourism development, promote, preserve, and protect and develop our nation's culture and heritage, and support other sustainable growth initiatives in St. Kitts and Nevis. So sustainability is really the hallmark of the new focus of the program.
And so what we're seeing right now as well is that the Sustainable Growth Fund has a limited time offer that includes a quick processing time of just 60 days. It's astonishing. How does that work, and how will it affect other investment options?
The Sustainable Growth Fund limited time offer includes the 60-day accelerated application process, or AAP. The AAP fast-tracks applications, and if the applicant passes the due diligence process, they can receive citizenship in as little as 60 days. It's important to note that the 60-day approval time begins to run from the date of acknowledgement of the application and not the date of submission. This distinction is very important because some applications are submitted without the required documents, which should be rectified before we can acknowledge receipt of the application. So, all applicants who apply via the AAP and the standard application route undergo the same level of rigorous due diligence processing. The multi-layered due diligence system combines internal government checks with research by specialist third-party due diligence firms and assessments by regional and international bodies. These stringent checks ensure that individuals are of the highest integrity.
And that is what's absolutely vital here, that we do have that due diligence in place as well. And so, why do you suggest that investors move quickly on that sustainable growth fund option there?
Well, it's a limited time offer, and I think that is the main reason to move quickly. From July 1st, then the SGF goes back to its usual levels. So it's a quick route to a second citizenship, and we encourage all our intelligent, discerning investors to take advantage of this.
Wonderful. And there are a few changes to the real estate option as well. So, what kind of impact will these changes have?
The evolving St. Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Program will invite bold and creative investors to facilitate the development of innovative industries in St. Kitts and Nevis, including construction of real estate developments pursuant to the new administration's priority infrastructure list. The government will approve real estate projects to be developed, and of these, a designated number of real estate units will be available to be sold to qualifying investors. Real estate projects will be constructed and completed according to a predefined schedule, and a designated escrow drawdown process will also be implemented. Only approved real estate developments will be eligible for the citizenship by investment option, and most importantly, current approved projects will need to apply afresh to become an approved development.
Excellent. So, what should investors look for then when they're investing in real estate options, and what kind of projects are currently available for citizenship linked investments?
We recognize that the value of real estate development must benefit all stakeholders. From January 2023 onwards, only approved developments will be eligible for the real estate investment option under the new program. All approved developments will be designated a specific number of units to be sold, and each construction project will be allotted a completion schedule. Furthermore, approved developments will have designated escrow drawdown processes. The minimum investment for the real estate option remains at $200,000, excluding government, due diligence, and processing fees.
Wonderful. And so, who then is eligible to apply for the St Kitts and Nevis Second Citizenship Program? And are dependents also eligible for it along with the main applicant?
Applicants can include your spouse, children under 18, children aged 18 to 25 who are in a dependency relationship with either you or your spouse, and that means being enrolled in an institution of higher learning. Children aged 18 or over who are physically or mentally disabled, siblings, if unmarried, childless, 25 years of age or younger, and financially dependent on the main applicant. Parents, if aged 65 or above, and living with and fully supported by the main applicant, and grandparents, if aged 65 or above, and living with and fully supported by the main applicant.
Wonderful. So it's quite broad for who can actually apply, which is wonderful news. Maker, if I can come back to you now, of course, a new government was elected in St Kitts and Nevis last year, which implemented these new changes. So how has the industry received the new government and the changes to the program?
Well, the new government came into power with a very clear vision, which was to deliver on their promises by making concrete changes that would directly affect the citizens and any investors who were coming to the shores. And I think this gives a very strong message to sort of the global community about how invested the government are in making sure that they meet the demands of both the local citizens and economic citizens out there in terms of the investments that they'll be making. I mean, it really is a breath of fresh air and a major driving force for those who reside in countries where promises are routinely undelivered. So I think for an investor who's looking to invest elsewhere, there is a level of confidence that you can get from this government that have come into power. So the much anticipated changes sets a bold and new tone for the industry as a whole. And as the world's oldest program, it is once again leading the way for the investment immigration industry, which is quite exciting. And I think as time goes by, we'll see the impact of these changes have a ripple effect throughout the entire industry. So the added layers of integrity accelerates the country's economic diversification, empowers local citizens while creating an enriching base for the discerning investor that St Kitts and Nevis wishes to attract.
It certainly strengthens the program even further, which we are very excited to see. Now, Michael, while the alternative investment option was not around for long, many investors were familiar with it, and it's been replaced now by the public good investment option. So how does this change affect previous applicants of the alternative investment option, and what does the government intend to do with that?
Sally, only approved public good projects will qualify for the PGIO. All developments previously designated as AIO developments will lose such designation upon the coming into effect of the new CBI regulations. Investors of such developments are required to apply to the Board of Governors of the CIU to be designated as approved public good investors, whereby they can apply to have their developments designated as approved public good projects. Upon designating an investor as an approved public good investor, the government of St Kitts and Nevis will determine the number of public good investment units of the approved public good project to be sold, the schedule of completion and distribution of the units, and the corresponding escrow drawdown process. The public good investment option will focus on effecting real transformation for the country by investing into areas that will benefit the citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis. Investors will be required to apply to the Board of Governors to be designated as a public good investor. Projects must bring substantial benefit to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis. It must maximize local employment, embark upon programs including transfer of technology and local capacity building. They must assume all financial risks involved with the project. And if the investment results in a real estate development project on state land, they must agree to transfer all real estate to the state on substantial completion.
Outstanding. And so, Maker, if I can come back to you, What are the overall benefits of becoming a citizen of St Kitts and Nevis?
Well, first off, it's probably one of the most important investments that you'll make for you and your family. It's an investment in your future. And investing in the citizenship opens up great opportunities, not just for the now, but also for the long term. Because, of course, you can pass on your citizenship to your descendants. But individuals at the minute can enjoy all the benefits given by the government, whether inside or outside the country. And benefits include full citizenship for life, the right to live and work in the nation, and the ability, obviously, as I mentioned before, to pass it on to future generations. So these are dealing with the sort of long-term safety and security that you're giving to your families. But also the global mobility, the access, the ease of doing business. And when you apply, the application process is quite seamless. I mean, there's no interview, there's no obligation to travel or residency requirements, nor is there any language requirements. So it's a very welcoming program as long as you meet the due diligence requirements that go along with it.
Perfect. And so if I can come back to you, Michael, St Kitts and Nevis is currently welcomed by 161 countries. How does the nation manage their international relationships? And do you ever foresee any implications with this in terms of global access and mobility of St Kitts and Nevis citizens?
Well, as you may know, Sally, St. Kitts and Nevis maintains diplomatic relations with many countries around the world, as well as our neighboring Eastern Caribbean states. We are a member of the Commonwealth, the United Nations, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the Organization of American States, the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States, the Eastern Caribbean Regional Security System, and the Caribbean Community, CARICOM. The Eastern Central Bank also is headquartered right here in St. Kitts and Nevis. So in terms of foreign policy, we have good diplomatic and geopolitical relations with countless countries around the world.
And of course, as you alluded earlier, Michael, due diligence is critical for growth in the investment migration sector. And so, how do you ensure that all of the processes are in place for investors as well as for the program that you're offering?
For our program, due diligence plays a critical central role in establishing and maintaining the integrity of our program. Our due diligence process is multifaceted and is undertaken by the country's CBI unit, law enforcement, and external third-party due diligence agencies from the United Kingdom and the United States. This ensures that the process is stringent and comprehensive. Applicants are required to provide either fingerprints or a biometric passport, police certificates from both an applicant's country of residence as well as their country of citizenship, and comprehensive supporting information in respect of the applicant's source of funds. I cannot overstress it. We believe that due diligence is absolutely important to this program, as it helps to ensure that only high quality applicant is successful in becoming a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis.
And of course, this is the foundation of the program that has endured for almost 4 decades and is looking to strengthen it even further, which is so critically important. And so, Maker, from your perspective, CS Global Partners is a leading legal advisory firm specializing in intelligent citizenship solutions. What should investors be looking for when they do choose an advisory firm to take care of their application?
Obtaining a second citizenship is a very important step that an investor will make. And it is an administratively intensive process. So I would advise people seeking to get second citizenship to work with companies that will not take shortcuts, to work with a company that has had a long history of working within the investor migration. So these are some of the factors that you would consider. But importantly, you can actually go onto the official government website and find an international marketing agent who works closely with local authorized agents. These agents are vetted by the government, so you know that you're dealing with legitimate agents who can help you, walk you through the process. So it's vital that you choose an agent that can deal with the intricacies of the application, with the translations, with the notarizations and apostille of documentation. And there's a certain level of care and due diligence that the agent needs to undertake in order to really provide you with that good advice. Also, confirmation that the investment amounts quoted by your agent is in line with what the government has gazetted and mandated by the relevant government. So any limited time offers announced by government agents, double check that these are in fact correct. And then licensed agents are trained and kept up to date with respective processing units and updated with processing procedures, so they're able to process your applications with ease. This is a very important step that an investor is taking. So you really do want to be working with someone who understands the process very clearly, who has the experience, and in particular, the experience of dealing with applicants from your specific region.
Absolutely. Has that experience dealing with applicants from the region that you're from, but also somebody who is very well versed, of course, in everything that is going on in St Kitts and Nevis. And as you said, there is a website that you can check there, and it is www.ciu.kn. And we are excited to see these innovative new changes come into force to further strengthen the already popular St Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Program. As we do conclude the webinar today, though, I know a lot of people are excited by it. I know a lot of people have already heard about the incredible benefits of the program itself, and now these new changes make it even better, particularly with the limited time offers that are there. So if you are thinking about taking advantage of the St Kitts and Nevis program, this is the perfect time to get in touch with CS Global Partners. And so while Michael and Mecca Rose provided us with a wealth of information here, you are, of course, invited to make contact, as Mecca said, with a registered authorized agent to help you with your investment and citizenship applications. The full list of authorized agents on the official Citizenship by Investment website can be found at, once again, www.ciu.kn. And so we thank the Honourable Dr. Terence Drew, Prime Minister of St Kitts and Nevis, as well as Michael Martin, Head of the St Kitts and Nevis Citizenship by Investment Unit, and Micah Emmett, CEO of CS Global Partners. Thank you all for your invaluable input today.
Thank you, Sally.